Hello guys and welcome to our tutorial on backwards crossovers. So our reason for kind of doing this tutorial is we see everyone trying this as kind of the first thing that people go to when they learn backwards, and rightly so. It should be done as the same way that you would learn forward crossovers. So we figured it's kind of important that we go through this and we explain it and break it down, because it's also something that people struggle with and also struggle to do it both ways, so hopefully we'll try and give you an idea of how to do that. So the first thing to bear in mind is posture. So for this, your shoulders should be over your hips and then in turn over the heels of your skate. Now the weight should be roughly over the centre towards the front of the skate. To ensure that this happens, we bend the knees. Now Ethan always says that if you can see your toes when you're a beginner, your knees aren't bent enough. So I think by that he means bend your knees a lot, which is something that I always find myself telling people to do. So yeah, it's good advice. Bend your knees over the front of your skates. So here we have Ethan just skating backwards. Now what this does is it gets you warmed up and gets you used to going backwards and helps with your posture and just controlling it and making sure that you maintain it. So yeah, practice by skating backwards and maintaining this posture. It should help. So now as you can see, as he's just touched it, he's illustrating that you turn with your shoulders, which is true. You should always be sure to look over whichever shoulder you're kind of favouring when you're moving backwards, but as when you're skating you look over your shoulder. Actually, people don't realise this, you actually turn with your shoulders. So if you start to rotate your shoulders, chances are you're going to start to turn. And the same is for forwards. So your shoulders actually illustrate how you move and how tight you turn a lot of the time. So be sure to turn with your shoulders, and this will help you to have a grasp of just the general turning motion. After all, backwards crossovers are often used for turning, as you can see here. So be sure to look over your shoulder, and that's most likely where you're going to go. Now as you can see, he's currently doing lateral crossovers. Now yes, this isn't exactly how you're going to do it when you're doing backwards crossovers, but the principle is very simple. This gives you a very basic idea of one foot going over the other. Hopefully you have the idea of this from forward crossovers, but this is always a good drill to do to keep you warmed up and to get you used to the idea of this. Besides, this can't hurt. So it's just keep practicing lifting one foot over the other and then back again. And once you get comfortable with that, you can move on to the next step. So now as you can see, Ethan's moving backwards. He's doing a very small crossover on quite a wide circle. So as you can see, his right foot comes behind the left and then the left pushes away to try and move towards the inside of the circle. That should be the aim anyway. Now as you see, when we slow it down, the right goes behind the left and he pushes off from the left. So it's kind of a mixture of the two really. The right comes behind the left and then the left comes in front of the right and pushes. As you can see in a second, he'll do it the other way round. Now as you can see, the left goes behind the right and then the right pushes. So as you can see, we've slowed it down. The right is coming in front and the left ends up behind. So with this, it's easy to get the coordination slightly wrong. So some people try and pull the left behind, some people try and pull the right in front. It's actually neither, it's a mixture of both. You should be pulling the left behind slightly and the right in front slightly. So it's a mixture of both legs coming together, but ultimately the push comes from the right or left leg in front pushing off. Now as you can see, he's doing it quickly. The crossovers are much bigger, the gap in between the cross is much bigger, and as a result he's moving a lot faster. So this is what a crossover basically looks like when you've got it correct. So as you can see there, the gap is large and the cross is much bigger. As the cross is bigger, he has more room to push with his legs. The more power comes from it, naturally the faster he goes. This also makes it harder to control and to do in a smaller circle. So be sure to make sure that you've got plenty of room around you, you're always looking over your shoulder, and you've mastered the basics first. Now as you can see, he's doing it the other way. Remember, you should be able to do this both ways. A good drill for this is the same as with forward crossovers, is trying to do it in a figure of 8. If you find that you can do this, you should be able to do it around the rink both ways. It's important to do it both ways because ultimately you don't just want to be going in one direction. Whilst in some rinks this is policy, you should go in one direction, you should be able to do it in both so you can get out of other people's way. Now as you can see, he's doing it in a straight line. This is important because it gives you more of a boost off the line, allows for quicker acceleration, but furthermore, you don't always want to be doing it in a turn. Sometimes you just want to go a bit quicker backwards. This can help. So be sure to keep practicing this. It's the same principle, just one set of crossovers and then the other. So moving in a zigzag almost. So say you do 2 on the left side and then 2 on the right side. Ethan here does 2 there, and then he alternates to 2 here. This is how you can do it and keep it in a straight line. If you favour one leg, you may do 2 on one side and 1 on the other, as Ethan sometimes does. But yeah, this has been our tutorial on backwards crossovers. We hope you found this helpful. We know a lot of people wanted to see this, so we've done it. Thank you for watching. If you like this, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let us know what you'd like to see in the comments section down below. See you soon.